Hello. So I'm assuming that you're already registered to github.com, and also you have a desktop version running which looks something like this, right? So I'm assuming that you already have this. So unless and until you have this, please don't move forward and watch this video. It won't be that much fun. So let me go back to github.com first. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a project or a repository on github.com. So this is the one which is supposed to contain like list of all your folders, subfolders, and everything that is needed on in your project. So I just clicked on new, and then this blank thing came up. Now I already have a project in mind, which I have it on my local file, but not on my not on GitHub. Like I'm not tracking it right now. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a blank repository or a new repository on github.com. So I'm just going to call it as for extra info dash UI, right? So then the most important part is that don't make your repository public unless you want people, anybody and everybody, to possibly look at the repository, right? Then you can always add like some readme file and ignore file and things like that. That documentation for that you can find it out later on. So the first, the initial reason why I'm giving you demo is to just make you comfortable with the concept of version control and like going on github.com. The latter fine tuning, like we can always do at some point of time. So I'm going to create this repository. All right, so at this point of time you'll see that it has given you some instructions out here. Like for example, even it tells you to set it up on your desktop and things like that. But if you're connected your desktop to your GitHub account, then you don't need to worry too much about it. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go back to github.com. Okay, then I'll check here if my latest repository is like showing up here, the one I created just now. So as of now it is not showing up. So I'm going to click on click on add, and then click on clone repository, or like a copy kind of a repository. So when I click on this, then hopefully it should show up the new repository that I just created, right? So I'm just going to scroll down and find out if it is there. Okay, not yet, hold on. uh, Scroll down a bit, scroll down a bit, hold a bit. Okay, not yet. So I'm gonna click on the refresh button, and let's see. Yeah, now it is created, right? So now it is like kind of showing up here. So I need, I had to click on the refresh button. So after that, the another important part here is that it shows the local path as c colon something something github.com. So you must note this down, because this is where it is going to copy this currently empty repository into this folder. So it will simply create like a blank folder or something, right? So we will see that what exactly it does. Now I'm going to click on the clone button. So once I click on clone, this should be quite fast actually, because there is pretty much nothing out there, right? So it says no local changes and blah blah blah, right? There is nothing out here. Now what I do is I will go to the file manager, right? So this is where my real project is. You'll see that the path is different actually, right? And on GitHub, like it has created this blank repository. There is nothing in this one, right? So this is the one which is being tracked, and this is the one which I originally had, which I like did not really track. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to like select all these, and I'm going to move it here, right? So all these items, but you could decide to, instead of moving, you can copy it and then probably delete it at a later stage when you are comfortable that the files are being tracked and all, right? So the reason I'm moving it, because I really don't want to make changes to this folder from now on. I only want to make all the changes only here, right? And nowhere else. So because this is the one which is tracked, and then if I make changes somewhere else, then my changes will not be tracked. So that's why I moved from this folder to the track folder which is being tracked. Now here the magic starts from here. So if I go back to desktop again, the git desktop, then you will see that it is showing me that there are so many changes that are happened to my folder that was, or repository that was tracked. That is because there was nothing in it, and then I have put in everything here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put a comment here saying this is my first draft. Okay, and then I'll say for demo purpose. Okay, all right. And now I'm going to commit these changes to the repository. So what does it mean by commit? What it means that is that, like, from the point the repository is being tracked or the last commit, the changes that I have done are showing as differences, but all those differences, like, I'm happy with it. I know that this should be released, and this should be, these are something that I'm comfortable, like, sharing with someone else, or, like, making sure that I want to kind of lock these changes, right? So at this point of time, I'm just going to commit on the commit to main. So once I do this, what has happened is that, like, all the changes that like I have done are saved into my local repository.